Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Isha and I am going to finally start to implement a daily routine in my life. It's been a long time coming. I'm 31 years old. I've never had a consistent routine in my life at all. Even when I was in school, it was never a thing. So I'm really excited to finally start that going and have it in place so that by the time my daughter starts getting a little bit older, we can have a proper routine for her life too. She's 4 and I think she has a better routine at 4 than I've ever had in my entire life. So I would assume that one of the most important parts of having a daily routine is having a consistent wake up time and go to bed time. And at this point in my life, I do not have either of those. So I spend a lot of my evening in this chair or on the couch over here. My daughter goes to bed at around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. every night, depending on any activities that she has after school. 4 days a week, she does have after school activities. And then once you factor in dinner time and bath time, it can get a little past 7 p.m. by the time she goes to bed. But I do try and shoot for 7 p.m. just because she is a bit of a bear in the morning and she needs her apparently 12 hours of sleep. She's 4, so she needs it. But once she is in bed, it is my quiet time, it is my relaxing time, and I'm usually in this chair. So one of the things that I really need to figure out is an appropriate bedtime for myself every day and an appropriate wake up time. Having enough sleep every night so that I don't feel like a zombie in the morning, but also allowing myself to have enough time in the evening to have time to myself, and then having a little bit of time in the morning to have time to myself before my daughter gets up. So my daughter does wake up roughly around 7 a.m. every day. Sometimes I do have to wake her up, but most times she does get up on her own between 7 and 7:30, sometimes earlier, but usually between 7 and 7:30. So I was thinking to myself, I would probably want to start getting up at around 6 a.m. Now, I used to work a job where I would have to get up around like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, usually around 5. But so I think I could probably handle getting up at 6 a.m. as long as I have the discipline and go to bed at nights at a good hour. And so for me, I know I definitely need at the very least 6 hours of sleep, but 8 hours would be preferable. But I know that it takes some time to actually fall asleep and then hit a certain level of sleep and then, wake up again. So I'm thinking 10 p.m. would probably be a good hour for me to go to bed. Gives me the 8 hours before I have to wake up at 6 a.m. or before I want to wake up at 6 a.m. No later than 6:30, but I want to say 6 a.m. So right now it is 10:09 in the morning. This clock is actually 10 minutes fast. So it says 10:19, but I promise you it is 10:09 in the morning. I got some grocery shopping done this morning, and by grocery shopping I mean I went out and I grabbed like some produce and some coffee because that's all I really need right now, but I got a few items. So I dropped my daughter off at school this morning. We left the house at around 8:50, and then I popped right over to the grocery store. It's about like a 10-minute walk from her school, and grabbed my groceries and then came back home. But I'm thinking, right, and getting up in the morning, 6 a.m., the first thing I know that I'm probably going to want to do, other than going to the bathroom and all that, I'm going to come into the kitchen and I'm going to start making myself a cup of coffee. I've not yet had a cup of coffee yet this morning. I did have a tea this morning because, like I said, I ran to the grocery store to get coffee because I was all out of coffee. And so this morning I just turned to tea. But I'm going to go ahead and make myself a coffee, like as if I would first thing in the morning on my new daily routine. So I went to the grocery store this morning and I did pick up some coffee, like I said. I got these Folgers Caramel Drizzle individual Keurig coffee pods. This may not seem like a splurge to anyone else, but this is definitely a coffee splurge to me. I usually do get Folgers, but I usually get the big one, and it's like a lot more coffee, and I think it's twice the price of this, but you get way more than twice the coffee. I also picked up the President's Choice Caramel coffee. It's just fine ground coffee that I can add to my own reusable coffee pod that I have for my little individual Keurig there. Also a bit of a splurge, but I really wanted flavored coffee. I wanted something that gave my coffee a little bit more oomph without having to put sugar or any sweetener in it. I don't personally like sweetener. The only way I like sweetener is if it's in Coke Zero. I don't even like Diet Coke. There's a huge difference between Diet Coke and Coke Zero. But yeah. While at the store, I also picked up a little bunch of bananas that still need to ripen. They're quite green, but they were all quite green at the store. I picked up 2 pink lady apples for my daughter. These are her favorite, these and Honeycrisp. Of course, the most expensive apples that they have at the store. And I needed avocados, and I honestly couldn't believe that they were $3 off. This whole bag of avocados is only $2. They are small, but it comes with like, what, 5 avocados? 6 avocados? Yeah, 5 avocados. So I'm happy with that. None of them are ripe, but that's okay. I don't need them for today. Just gonna have them throughout the week. And this is what I spent at the store on the items that I got. I spent $22.78. I'm gonna go ahead and make my coffee now. I'm gonna sit down here now and enjoy my coffee, but I also thought it might be a good idea to talk a little bit more about the concept of having a daily routine. So like I mentioned, I have never had a daily routine, at least not a consistent daily routine. I've made attempts in the past at making routines. I have spent countless nights writing out lists and to-do lists and just things that need to get done on a daily basis. And I don't know, I think I've mentioned this in a few videos, but I really struggle with like discipline and consistency, and it's kind of gotten to the point where it's just a really bad joke now. There's no legitimate excuses that I can have anymore other than just being lazy. And it's kind of hard to admit that, but it's definitely a huge factor in why I'm probably so unsuccessful in my life. And it's time to kind of put that behind me and grab life by the horns, grab the bull by the horns and try and ride. I see my daughter and I don't want her to have the same issues that I've had throughout my entire life, especially not going into her 30s. She's already doing so much better than I was at her age. She's had a way better start to life than I did. She hasn't really viewed or seen or heard a lot of the things that I heard growing up. So you can just see like she's a very social, dramatic little butterfly. She's awesome. She makes me laugh and smile and roll my eyes every single day, all at once sometimes. But I don't want her to have the same issues that I've had. And I think like having a routine, having some sort of structure in life and consistency is extremely important. It's just not something I had growing up. I was raised by a single mom, and all kudos to her. I know she did the best that she could, but obviously there were areas that things got missed, and there's a lot of reasons why. I'm not going to go into a whole lot in this video. But yeah, I didn't have any kind of like consistency, stability, structure, discipline growing up, and it's kind of led into my adult life. Back when I was a teenager, I didn't really seem to care about kind of implementing any of those things in my life. I had a really horrible attitude as a teenager. I was very apathetic, very negative outlook on the world, and just I didn't care. I honestly didn't care about anything, but I cared about everything all at once at the same time. Like I cared too much, but I tried to make it seem like I just didn't care about anything, because I think the caring about things, especially the way people thought of me, it hurt too much. So I tried so hard not to care when I was a teenager, and going into my 20s, things kind of started to change a little bit, and I definitely got better at things and tidier. I've always lived in a mess. Like my house has always been a mess since I was a kid. Every aspect of it has always been a mess. There's never been, I've never really known tidy in my life, and it's something that I really would like to change. I have gotten a lot better, especially in this last year. My boyfriend and I lived in an apartment a few years ago, and it was our first place living together in, and it was not a good story. I had just had my daughter, mind you, and I was going through a lot emotionally with like postpartum and everything, and I just had a really, really hard time, especially given like my life situation at the time, and then everything who I was as a person going up into that. It wasn't a good mix, and you add on motherhood to everything, and I was just, it was too much for me at the time. And I kind of crumbled, and everything else crumbled around me. Everything was a mess all the time. There was always piles of dishes. Our apartment building had issues with cockroaches, and because of the way that we lived, our apartment started to have issues with cockroaches, and it was just, oh my gosh. I still have like a minor form of PTSD from that cockroach issue, because I remember like I would go to throw something out in the garbage and there'd be like a cockroach that would move, or like I'd go to move something on the counter and then there'd be a cockroach, or there'd be one in the cupboard, and it was just so like, I'm getting chills, heebie-jeebies just thinking about it right now. It's super embarrassing. We were not the cause of the cockroaches in our building. They were there when I moved in. I remember seeing them in the laundry room and stuff, but we probably exasperated the issue at least within our unit because of the way we were living. And yeah, it's super embarrassing to talk about, to even think about, to know that we lived that way. Going back and thinking about it, it's just disgusting. I couldn't imagine living that way now. I still don't live the way that I would like to live now. I would like to be a lot tidier, and I think that having a routine in place where I am doing things on a consistent basis every single day to keep things tidy and organized, I think it'll help kind of make it so that I'm living in a way that I actually want to live in a way that makes me feel good, and in a way that I can be proud of. And I don't have to feel like I have to do this massive, quick tidy up before anybody comes into my home. And I want to know that anybody can walk in at any moment and they're not going to go sit on a dirty toilet, or they're not going to walk in and see crumbs all over the floor. Like, I don't want to live like that. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't think it makes anybody feel good to live in a mess. So, and it doesn't take that long to clean a mess. I've learned that. And especially if you keep on top of things, like dishes for me has been a huge thing. Like in the last year, I do my dishes every single night, every single morning, throughout the day. I don't like to, like, so if I'm cooking a meal, I like to do the dishes as I am cooking the meal, instead of having like a huge pile of dishes waiting for me after, because oh my God, after you do all that cooking and then you eat and you go back into the kitchen and you see a mountain of dishes waiting for you, just not my thing. So I try and do as many dishes as I can while I'm cooking. And then anything that is a bit hard to scrub or whatever, like any of the really big cooking dishes, I will have soaking while I'm eating, so that when I get back, all the little things are done, and it's just like some big pots that need to get washed, and they've been soaking, and it makes it a lot easier to just wash everything off and get it all done. So I've got this old notebook here, and I figure I'm going to start writing what I think should be on my to-do list in it, and then I guess I'll share it with you as I think of the items that need to go on my to-do list. Also, are you one of those girls that puts like hearts in front or behind everything? I've realized that I am, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. So I have got my daily routine all written out. It's on 2 pages. I'm just gonna go ahead and read it out to you. This is gonna be my Monday to Friday daily routine. I have not made one for the weekend yet. The weekend is a completely different devil. Things are just different on the weekends. We've got different things going on / not much going on. So I'm gonna have to make a routine that is more tailored to just life on the weekends. But this is my Monday to Friday daily routine that I'm going to start following and implementing into my life, and I'm so excited about it. 6 a.m. is going to be my wake-up call. Then I will be having coffee, so get up, make myself a coffee, relax for a little bit as I drink my coffee, and slowly wake up. Then it'll be stretching time, because I think my body in the morning is very stiff and achy and owie. So I'm gonna sit down on this like little exercise mat I've got over here and do some stretching in the morning to help kind of wake myself up and maybe feel a little bit more loosey-goosey. And then after that, I'm gonna go into the kitchen and make my daughter's lunch for school, so that it is all ready and out of the way and I don't have to think about it for the rest of the morning. At 7 a.m., I'm gonna go into my daughter's room and wake her up if she is not already awake. And then of course, I'm gonna make her breakfast, make sure that she eats her breakfast, pick out her clothes and get her dressed. And then after that, I'm gonna do her hair, and then sit down while she kind of does her own thing. She likes to watch, she's obsessed with Frozen right now, so every morning is different Frozen songs and her doing little performances around the apartment. So she'll probably do that for the rest of her time in the morning, or whatever else she wants to do. And then I'm gonna sit down and make today's or that day's to-do list. And then at 8:50 a.m. we have to go to school. So I have to walk her over to school. It takes like 10 minutes, not even, to walk her over to school. And then so I'm figuring after I get home from taking her to school, most days I'm not gonna have to go to the grocery store, but on the days that I do, I wanna give myself enough time. So I go to school with her, and then I will walk over to the grocery store and come home. Today I was only in the grocery store. I was only in the grocery store for about 10 minutes. I only got like 5 items though, and I always usually go with a list, so I can be, I would imagine, no more than 20 minutes in the grocery store if I was doing like a legit shop. And I could be home here by like 9:30, 9:45 at the latest. I figure around 10:30 at the latest, I would like to do some exercise. And so every day I would like to come home and do about 30 to 60 minutes of exercise, whether that is going outside for a walk if it's not super freezing cold or raining. Or I can go downstairs. My apartment building does have a small gym downstairs, so I can take advantage of that. And then we also have a walking pad that I have just kind of shoved under my couch right now, as well as a TV that has access to internet, and I can do many different YouTube workout videos. Thank God for YouTube workout videos. After doing a workout, I would like to do my housework. So any kind of just chores that need to get done, whether it's doing laundry, sweeping, dishes, just any kind of things that need to get done around the house, whether it's a bathroom day and I have to do a deep clean of the bathroom, deep clean of the kitchen, whatever it may be. After I work out, it's going to be house cleaning time. And then after the housework is done, if time allows, and there's not that much. I would imagine if I'm doing this every single day, the housework every day is going to get a little bit less and less as the upkeep is kept up every single day. So whatever time I have left after that is going to just be my me time, doing whatever I need to do for myself, whether it's maybe like planning out videos that I want to film, filming a video, editing a video, practicing my ukulele or guitar, because it's been so long since I have put any kind of effort into the musical side of my life. I really love singing, and I'm still like the beginner stage of playing guitar and ukulele because but I still like doing it. I can kind of like, I can strum my way through songs and I have fun with that. Or if it's just like, you know, singing karaoke on the TV or something like that. I love singing and it makes me feel good. So I want to make time to do things that make me feel good and feed my inner self that make me happy. That sounded so ridiculous, sorry. And then after that, around 3:05 p.m., it'll be time to go get my daughter from school. After school, she always has her activities from Monday to Thursday. She has some form of activity, whether it's dance, gymnastics, or swimming. So we will do that. And then after coming home from her activities, it'll be time to make her dinner and then have her eat dinner. While she's eating dinner, I can hopefully do any dishes that I did or made when I made her dinner. I know it's probably a good idea for us to eat dinner together, but that doesn't usually happen. I should probably make that a goal, so we'll see about that. But as of right now, I'll probably do dishes while she's eating dinner, sit down with her while she finishes her dinner, because it takes this girl forever to eat her dinner, especially if she's eating vegetables with dinner, and that is a whole other topic. We've been trying to introduce more vegetables. Carrots are the only thing that are really sticking right now. And then after she has dinner, it'll be time to give her a bath if it's bath day. I usually go every other day with a bath or as needed when it comes to her. And then it'll be time to put on pajamas, brush teeth, and then go say her goodnights to her Meemaw, call her dad, say goodnight, and then read a story and go to bed. So by that time, I would hopefully not be any later than 8 o'clock at night. Hopefully closer to 7, but there are some of her school activities or after school activities that kind of run a little bit late, and then we won't get home until about 6. So to get everything done within that last hour is a little bit pushing it in my opinion. So 8 p.m. seems a little bit more likely. And then once she's in bed, 8 p.m., it is nighttime and it is my time. So after that, I'm going to do any leftover dishes that I wasn't able to get done, possibly while she was eating, if something had to soak, whatever it may be. Then I'm gonna have a shower and make myself all clean and shiny, brush my hair, and then relax. By 9:45, it'll be time to actually start getting ready for bed. Kind of take myself over to the bathroom, brush my teeth, do all that jazz, and then make sure my pajamas are on. And then, well, I guess I would put my pajamas on after my shower, most likely. But anyways, I would go brush my teeth and then go off to bed. Even if it's like 10 minutes before 10 p.m., getting myself in bed and comfy, and then hopefully by 10, I will be lying down ready to go to sleep. And that is going to be my daily routine. So it seems pretty simple. It seems like, why should I have trouble following it unless I'm being outright defiant towards myself and the betterment of myself and my family and my future? Why would I want to do that? I don't know, but I'm pretty self-sabotaging, and I have been in the past. I've always been my own worst enemy. So they say the biggest predictor of the future is the past, and I would really like to not believe that, but I think we are also in control to a degree of our own lives. There's that old quote, you can't control the wind, but you can set your sails. And I have not been setting my sails, and it's time that I started setting my sails. I'm going to do whatever I can to try and put myself on the right track and get myself moving forward instead of being stagnant and staying still all the time. It is now 11:23 in the morning, so I am not going to be doing much exercise today because, like I said, I think I mentioned this earlier, but my daughter has been off school for 2 weeks for winter holiday break, Christmas break, whatever you want to call it. So the house is like a little bit in disarray right now. I've just, with a 4-year-old home 24/7, it gets a little bit like crazy. So for today, my main objective is to just get my place tidied up. Not perfectly clean, but tidied up and make it look decent. I want to do a nice sweep, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be mostly doing today. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you took the time out of your day to click and watch, I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed to my channel. And if you are, thank you so much. I will see you next time in another video. Thank you so much. Bye.